We are now on episodes 5 and 6, and this now is where Derry stops teasing and finally commits. Pennywise is officially back on screen, the lore gets way deeper, and the human horror of Derry starts catching up with the supernatural stuff. Man, I'm sorry, but I'm about to have to start spoiling this. Let's talk about it. What's going on? This Trey here. Since you found me, you might as well hit that like button and subscribe for more content. And like I mentioned, we are now on episodes 5 and 6, and this show now absolutely has no holding back. Like I mentioned, I'm gonna have to start spoiling this because there's no way I can talk about the goodness, the neutral, and the stuff that doesn't work in these episodes without spoiling it. So this is your warning right here. Full spoilers ahead. Episode 5 is pretty much saying, alright, enough of the warm-up. Send everybody into the mouth of hell. We've been hearing about 29 Neibolt Street and the tunnels under Derry for episodes now. And this episode here is the one where they finally go in. Who, you might ask? The kids, the adults, the military. And while doing so, we get a full mix of Pennywise finally showing up properly, a big twist, more confirmation that Derry is literally built on top of a prison for something ancient and wrong. Structurally, this episode is split between the kids trying to get answers and rescue their friend, the military operation going down the sewers with way too much confidence, and Dick Halloran's connection to all this. The shining spiritual angle that's tied into the sewers and the pillars. By the end of the episode, Pennywise is finally back into the game and the show finally feels like it's a it story, not just a slow burn prologue. So, enough of my bickering. What works in episode 5? Pennywise's return actually feels earned. Bill Skarsgård sliding back into Pennywise is crazy good. Pause. The way they hold back and finally unleash him into the sewer tunnels. The whole second half of this episode was pure nightmare fuel. There's a stretch where it turns into straight horror. Tight spaces, soldiers getting picked off, and the classic you're following someone you trust until you find out it's not really them. The Matty twist, man, that was strong. The way they played Matty's return, the awkward body language, the way he was talking, the way he was leading the other kids back to the sewer tunnels, it slowly starts to click that he's not a survivor, but yet a vessel. And think about it, man, that's a nasty idea. Pennywise wearing your dead friend like a costume to lure you back into his territory just so he can make you another statistic? Man, Pennywise is cold-blooded. And that was also a great twist added to this show. And also, something else that also stood out to me was the character work in all the chaos. What I like most is not just a monster show. You still get emotional beats. Lily and Margie's dynamic, Halloran carrying his own trauma into the fight, Hanlon family slowly realizing what Derry really is. Even in an episode where characters are running underground and getting attacked, it still feels grounded. And I know I talk about this in every single episode, but the visuals, man, they still cook. The lighting in the house, the wet stone tunnels, the way Pennywise emerges out of darkness. It all looks cinematic. It got that alien style squad going into the nest. And that there really works for the story. So, my neutral and mixed thoughts on episode 5. The military angle is cool, but it's kind of video game at times. I like the idea of the government knowing about it and trying to control it with mystical knowledge and a special dagger. But some of the dialogue and tactical stuff feels a bit goofy. Like cutscenes from a video game instead of a full grounded military strategy. And depending on who you are, that's either fun or distracting. But me, I can live with it. Now, some stuff that doesn't work for me in episode 5, the episode's IQ dips a bit when people start making dumb choices. Like, think about it, you got trained military adult soldiers, and they are walking into an obvious trap, ignoring clear supernatural warnings, and being way too comfortable against a thing they barely understand. It's entertaining, don't get me wrong, but it's also like, come on now, y'all didn't think this through. Especially when they were down in the tunnels following Daniel, and he took off running, and the soldiers trying to kill this man? Like, bro, what the hell was you thinking? Why are you trying to kill the only person that knows how to fight this thing? I mean, just stupid. But also, another thing is the lure dump can be a lot. You get tribal history, the idea of Derry as a cage, pillars, psychic contests, and magical tools. It's all interesting, but it's so much being layered on at once that it's going to feel like some people will feel like it's too much. And it's trying to tie every corner of Stephen King's universe all in one go. My final thoughts on episode 5, overall, it's a big swing. And for me, it lands more than it misses. Pennywise finally stepping into the spotlight. That's the kind of energy I've been waiting for this whole show. And I'm going to have to give this one an 8.5 out of 10. The logic isn't perfect, but as horror TV, it lands. Moving on to episode 6. Episode 6 picks up where episode 5 left off. And this is the episode that breaks open Ingrid Kersh backstory, gives us Periwinkle the Clown, pushes Derry into full-on racist mob violence, and shows how Pennywise just doesn't feed on fear. He weaponizes division and hate. We're jumping between a Juniper Hill flashback in the 1930s, Ingrid's connection to Bob Gray, the Hanlon family being torn apart, Hank Grogan being haunted by a armed mob, and the black spot becoming a powder keg just waiting to explode. So, first off, what works for me in episode 6? The Ingrid and Periwinkle reveal is wild. We finally find out that Ingrid believes that Pennywise and Bob Gray, her father, is connected. Pretty much being the same person. And she's been working her whole life, well, adult life, to bring him back. Manipulating kids, using her position, and eventually putting on the Periwinkle Clown persona. That's a big lore swing, and it adds this twisted family mythos to the logic. Being that she's been the clown presence that was stalking some of the kids in the earlier episodes. It gives those previous scenes a new kind of chill. Not just a monster, it's a human being fully devoted to him. Next, the human horror and the supernatural horror is here. The scariest thing in this episode honestly isn't Pennywise. It's the white mob that's in clown mask that closes in on the black spot towards the end of the episode, with guns in hand and fueled by racism and paranoia. And pretty much this episode could possibly be one of the most unsettling, just because it hits a little harder because it feels real. Next, the black spot material is powerful. If you know the It book, you know the black spot is a major historical event. And this episode is clearly lining us up for that tragedy. The way they show black joy, music, dancing, community, and then slowly lets that dread creep in as the mob draws in closer. And that contrast there alone is heavy. I'm not gonna lie, me personally, I wasn't familiar with the black spot at all, because I'm used to the 1990 It TV series. Well, not series, but TV, whatever it was. And the 2017 and 2019 remakes. And now Welcome to Derry. But upon watching Welcome to Derry, I was hearing about the black spot, so it gained my intrigue. And I looked it up, read on it, and yeah, I'm kind of anxious to see how this gonna be. Next, the Hanlon drama adds emotional weight. Leroy's anger, Will getting pushed away and slapped away. The tension inside a black family trying to survive Derry, as the town literally begins to turn on them. That's layered. It's not just spooky clown stuff in this episode. It's general fear, mistrust, and authority, and survival mode. So my neutral and mixed thoughts in episode 6, the lore moves fast. If you like episode 6, it's probably because it pushes the story forward and also while answering a lot of questions. But if you wasn't already locked in, all the Pennywise daughter, plus Juniper Hill, plus Black Spot, and the mob violence, packed into 1 hour might feel a lot. But honestly, for them doing that within an hour and still fleshing out the story, man, I gotta take my hat off to them. But not the one I'm wearing right now. But some things that doesn't work for me in episode 6, the Ingrid twist is gonna be divisive. Personally, I think it's interesting. but I can get why some fans might want a side eye. Giving Pennywise a child and that direct human connection risk over explaining a character that usually works best as an unknowable cosmic evil. And if you're a purist, this one right here might feel like it's pulling back the curtains a little bit too far. And also, some emotional beats feel rushed. Because this episode is juggling so much, Ingrid's past, the mob, Hanks, the kids, and the handlers, a couple of characters' turns doesn't hit as it should, or could. There are moments where you can feel the show is racing to move pieces into place for the finale instead of fully living in the emotion. But my final thoughts for episode 6, it's lore heavy, emotional heavy, and socially heavy. For me, this one works because it finally shows you why Derry is the perfect feeding ground for it. Not just because of monsters, because of the hate already living in the people. And I put this one at an 8.5 out of 10 as well. Not every swing is perfect, but when it hits, it really hits. Overall, episode 5 and 6 together, it feels like it's in its true form. Pennywise is now out in the open, the lore is clicking into place, the human horror, racism, mob mentality, corruption is just as scary as the clown. And the show is clearly pushing us towards the black spot and a full-on catastrophe. Whew, I ran out of breath. I was already locked in, but after episodes 5 and 6, I'm officially locked in. Even more. Like, locked in. The show's not perfect, some choices are gonna divide fans. But, from a horror TV standpoint, this is one of the most ambitious Stephen King adaptations we had on TV in a minute. So, if you're watching Welcome to Derry, please let me know what you think thus far about episode 5 and 6 in the comments below. Hell, even all of them for that matter. But if you made it to this point in the video, I greatly appreciate you. Please do me a favor on your way out, give me a like and a subscribe if you haven't already. It greatly helps the channel. But be sure to follow for any more movie news, reviews, or anything of that nature, because it's possible. If you've seen it, I've seen it too.